a lobby designed to intimidate the powerful. The room was silent, but no one felt comfortable. Even billionaires lowered their voices the moment they stepped inside. This lobby was not built to welcome. It was built to dominate. To understand why a hotel would intentionally intimidate its most powerful guests, we have to revisit a moment when influence stopped responding to excess. Wealth had already conquered comfort. Status had already purchased access. What remained was psychology, how space makes people feel when they believe no one is watching. This hotel emerged in an era when power learned to recognize itself. Leaders, executives, and monarchs no longer needed gold to feel important. They needed certainty. They needed to know where they stood the instant they entered a room. Architecture became the fastest way to deliver that message. From the outside, the building appeared restrained. Clean lines, minimal ornament, nothing loud. But the moment guests crossed the threshold, the scale shifted violently. Ceilings rose higher than expected. Distances stretched. Sound behaved differently. Footsteps echoed longer than they should. People instinctively slowed down. The lobby was designed around one principle: imbalance. Chairs were lower than eye level. Desks were massive and immovable. Light entered from above, not from the sides, casting subtle shadows that exaggerated height and presence. There were no comfortable corners, no places to hide. Everyone entering was fully visible. At first, guests tried to compensate. They stood taller. They spoke louder. They asserted familiarity. But the space absorbed those signals and returned nothing. The lobby did not react. It waited, and in that waiting, it established authority. The reveal was not obvious. No signs explained the design. No staff mentioned it. But powerful people felt it immediately. This was not their territory. This was neutral ground that answered to no one. And that realization changed how they behaved upstairs. What looked like a simple entrance was actually a filter, and once passed through, every interaction felt different. This lobby did not greet power. It measured it. Once guests moved beyond the lobby, the effects followed them upward. Conversations that began confidently grew more careful. Movement slowed. Even body language adjusted. The building had already done its work. It had quietly reminded everyone that status was contextual, not absolute. The reveal deepened through repetition. Guests passed through the lobby multiple times a day, and each time the effect reset. The space did not become familiar. It remained imposing. That was intentional. Familiarity breeds control. This lobby refused it. Designers had studied how power behaves when stripped of reinforcement. There were no personal artifacts on display. No portraits. No trophies. No historical references to align with. Nothing for guests to anchor their identity to. The absence forced introspection. Who are you without your symbols? Meetings held in this hotel unfolded differently. Executives arrived less combative. Politicians negotiated with softer edges. Deals took longer, but broke down less often. The lobby's influence extended invisibly into every conversation above it. Not everyone appreciated the effect. Some guests complained of feeling unsettled. Others described a vague sense of pressure they could not explain. A few refused to return. The hotel accepted this quietly. It was never meant for everyone. It was meant for moments when balance mattered more than comfort. As word spread, the hotel became a destination not for leisure, but for calibration. Leaders came before major decisions. Companies sent teams before restructurings. Individuals arrived when certainty felt dangerous. The lobby served as the first test. If someone resisted it, the hotel had already made its point. The intrigue lay in how little was said. No one acknowledged the design openly. To do so would admit vulnerability. And in spaces of power, vulnerability is currency few are willing to spend. But the tension was building. A place that shapes behavior eventually attracts those who want to exploit it. The question was no longer whether the lobby worked. It was who was learning how to use it. And that knowledge was about to change everything. As the hotel's reputation spread, the lobby became more than an architectural statement. It became a tool. Those who understood its effect began to arrive early, positioning themselves deliberately. They chose where to stand, when to enter, how long to wait. Small advantages compounded in a space designed to amplify psychological signals. The conflict emerged when power learned to perform inside the imbalance. Some guests adapted quickly. They embraced stillness. They let silence work for them. They allowed others to feel the weight first. In this lobby, restraint became dominance. Others struggled. Accustomed to controlling rooms who present alone, they found themselves unsettled by how little reaction they received. Their words felt smaller here. Their gestures carried less force. The space did not oppose them. It simply refused to validate them. The buildup intensified as critical meetings converged in this hotel. Negotiations stalled elsewhere suddenly progressed here. Rival factions requested overlapping stays. The lobby became the first battlefield, long before anyone sat at a table. Who entered calmly, who fidgeted, who filled the silence too quickly. Observers learned everything they needed to know in those first moments. Staff noticed it too. They began to anticipate tension before it surfaced upstairs. A glance held too long, a pause before answering. The lobby revealed cracks no briefing ever could. Power left fingerprints here, even when it tried not to, but this influence carried risk. A space that reshapes behavior also concentrates it. The hotel began hosting moments where too much was at stake. One miscalculation, one misunderstanding, one ego bruised too deeply. The neutrality that made the lobby effective also made it fragile. Behind the scenes, management faced pressure to soften the experience, to add warmth, to reassure guests. They refused. The lobby was not a compromise. It was a statement. To dilute, it would invite chaos upstairs. The emotional peak approached as one high-stakes gathering loomed. Multiple interests. No clear hierarchy. Everyone convinced they belonged at the top, and all of them would pass through the same door. The lobby was about to do what it was built for, expose the balance of power. When the moment arrived, nothing dramatic happened. No raised voices, no visible conflict, just a shift. As each guest entered the lobby, the hierarchy revealed itself, not by titles, not by entourage, by composure. Those who tried to claim space lost it. Those who waited gained it. Silence became leverage. Stillness became authority. The climax was not a confrontation. It was recognition. Everyone understood at once who truly controlled themselves and who did not. Upstairs, negotiations unfolded with unusual clarity. Posturing fell away. Decisions came faster, cleaner, and more final. The lobby had already done the hard work. When the meetings ended, no one credited the building. They credited instinct, experience, timing. But the truth lingered in the air they had passed through. This hotel proved something unsettling. Power is not announced. It is felt. And space can teach that lesson faster than words ever could. In the years that followed, designers tried to replicate the effect. Bigger ceilings, colder materials, more silence. Most failed, because intimidation was never the goal. Awareness was. This lobby did not overpower the powerful. It reminded them they were human first. And once you feel that, you never enter a room the same way again. So what do you think? Are we repeating the same mistake again? A lot